So when we left off last time, we read chapter 5, and it was called Elf Ladies. And in that chapter, the kids got walked down to the Secret Santa shop. So they learned that everything on each table is the amount that's on the table. So table 1 was $1 all the way up to $5. So Junie B is looking at items to buy her family and her Secret Santa, who is May. So let's see what happens. Chapter 6 is called Giving. Elf Wendy clapped her hands together. She said it is time for us to browse around, except for please do not break the toys. And please do not eat the candy canes. And please do not blow our nose on the handkerchiefs. I skipped to table 2 real excited because I already saw something that I loved. Crayons! They got crayons! I said, very thrilled. I picked them up and looked inside. Look! The red one has a sharp head, and the greenie is not a stubby. I breathed their brand new smell. I would love to buy these things, I said. Just then, my friend Herbert pulled me over to table 1. Tattoos! You've got tattoos, Junie B! And they really look real, he said. I did a gasp at those things. There were pirate tattoos and dragon tattoos and dinosaur tattoos and kitty cat tattoos. Plus also, they had a nice variety of swamp animals. Whoa! That is all the tattoos a kid could ever dream of, I said. I would love to buy those things. Then, all of a sudden, my eyes glanced over at table 3, and my whole entire mouth fell open. It was glow-in-the-dark barrettes. I yelled real excited. I've always wanted these things. Boys and girls, so she's looked at some crayons that she would like, some tattoos that she would like. Now she's looking at barrettes, which are just another name for a hair clip. But it's Christmas time. Are you supposed to buy yourself presents on Christmas? No, she needs to start thinking about her family. All right, let's see. Cool, said Herb. I know, they are cool, Herbert, I said, because if you lose your hair in the dark, you will always be able to find it. Just then, I felt a tap on my shoulder. I spun around. It was May. You shouldn't be wanting to buy gifts for yourself, Junie Jones, she said. We are here to buy gifts for others. Well, this time May really does have a point, doesn't she, boys and girls? I put my hands over my ears. Whoops, bad news. I can't even hear you. May raised her voice. It is nicer to give than to receive, she shouted. Giving is the spirit of the holiday season. I am a giver. I give and I give and I give and I give. Just then, I thought I heard another voice. I turned to look. Mr. Scary was calling out some words to us, I think. I can't actually hear you, Mr. Scary, because I got my hands over my ears. He walked over to me and took my hands away. His face did not look happy. You two aren't having another problem, are you? He asked. I shook my head very rapid. Nope, no siree, no problem, I said. I was just being thrilled at these gifts. That's all I was doing. May stood up real proud, and I was just telling her to be a giver like me. She said, my mother says that some people are born to be givers and other people are born to be shellfish. She glanced her eyes at me. I stood very puzzled. Then I looked up at Mr. Scary. I don't even care for shellfish, I said with a little smile. He said May and I could browse some more. So is shellfish what May really meant? Some people are givers and some people are shellfish? Nah, she meant selfish, didn't she? Only what do you know? As soon as he said that, we heard the loudest noise of the day. And it's called, someone in room 1 did the giantest burp in the world. Our heads spun around to see, and we could not believe our eyeballs. Lucille! It was Lucille! We shouted. So if you guys remember, Lucille's the one that's really prim and proper. She's the girly girl that's always talking about how rich she is. She would never be caught burping in public, especially burping loudly. This is very out of character. Then all of us started laughing at once. Lucille burped! She burped! She burped! We hollered again. I didn't even know how rich people burped, I said. Me neither, said Sheldon. I am pleasantly surprised. Lucille stamped her expensive foot. But I didn't burp. I didn't, she yelled. She held up a round toy in her hand. It looked like a beanbag, sort of. It was this thing, she shouted. This thing burped, not me. Lucille gave it a squeeze and another giant burp. Room 1 laughed and laughed until our sides hurt. Even May was laughing. Plus, Mr. Scary was laughing too. A good burp can bring the whole world together, I tell you. Mr. Scary went to table 5, and he read us information about the toy. So there's a picture here. Lucille's got the burp toy in her hand, and all the kids are watching. It costs $5, and it's called a squeeze-a-burp, he said. All of us clapped at that silly name. A squeeze-a-burp, we hollered. Squeeze the squeeze-a-burp again. Mr. Scary, please. Mr. Scary smiled, but he shook his head no, and he put it back on the table. I think we've had enough burping for one day, don't you? He said. Room 1 did a groan. How can you have too much burping? Said Jose. Burping is pure entertainment, Sheldon nodded. I agree. My grandpa can burp the Star-Spangled Banner, he said. I've been trying to bring him in for show and tell, but he's booked solid. I looked at Sheldon very admiringly. He comes from a talented family, I think. After that, all of the children hurried to table 5, and we gathered around the squeeze-a-burps. We read the writing on one of the bags. It said, Squeeze-a-burp, world's biggest belch in a bag. That gift is genius, I said. I would love to buy that thing. Who wouldn't, said Lenny. See, said Jose. Even my grandmother would love a belch in a bag. Shirley slumped her shoulders. I just wish it didn't cost $5 whole, she said. $5 is a lot of money for a burp. Yeah, said Sheldon. Except for my grandpa, everyone in my family still burps for free. After that, all of the children walked away to browse some more. I just kept standing there, 'cause the squeeze-a-burp was the funnest gift I ever heard of. And I had to have one of those things, I tell you. I just had to. Alrighty, that's the end of chapter 6. The next time we meet, we'll read chapter 7, and it's called Doing the Math. Alright, thanks for listening. Bye, kiddos.